But another story which I've spotted this morning, a study by LinkedIn has found that over a third of employees have said they would resign from their jobs if they were told to return to the office full time. I mean, I don't know what to say, really. I mean, the idea that people don't want to go to work, I can understand people wanting to stay at home, but why would office organisers and managers want people to do that?
I mean, it's extraordinary that that should be even allowed to be tolerated by employers. I had a meeting with, I've employed people for many years. I'm in, private business, and I had a meeting with my staff on Monday. And I said, absolutely no way is it ever going to be a policy of my company that people have a right to work at home at any given day on a week. I know that people work a hell of a lot better when they're in the office. You can brainstorm, you chat to each other, you have new ideas, you develop those ideas, and actually you deal with the administrative stuff of work much better in the office environment as well. I know it personally from my own, when I've had to be at home, I find myself not working in the same way as I do in the office. And I know it from watching, members of staff. So anyone who says you can work perfectly well at home is talking rubbish. You work a lot better in the office. There may be some limited sectors, where you're performing a function and it is just perfunctory, if you like, and there's no real added value in what you do that you can do from home. But even there, I suspect people don't function at the same level as they would if they were in an office environment. So I think there's no excuse for it. We're becoming a lazy nation, and we've got to get our backsides back into the office, back to the workplace, and start motoring if this economy is to ever grow. Remember, GDP is roughly the same now as it was when the Conservatives came into office, and the population of the country has gone up about 10%.
Yeah.
So GDP per capita and productivity with it is flatlining. It's decreasing. It's awful. We are not. We're going to fast become a third world nation, Mike. This notion that we will always somehow survive, that British amateurism will win through in the end, is a fundamentally flawed notion. If we think that we can go on behaving like this and still maintain our preeminent position in the world, forget it. There will be people snapping at our heels. They are snapping at our heels. We will lose our position in the world, and we will become a poor country. And we've got to stop this attitude of, working from home, this namby-pamby, molly-coddled, quivering lower lip, inability to, move forward with confidence, working hard, and getting on with life.
Yes.
It's awful.
Well, don't worry, I've got some good news for you, Ben. Well, there has been a breakthrough this morning, because there's going to be some people working not from home, because they can't work from home, but they'll be working from your home. And what I'm talking about is hundreds of burglars who are going to be released by the prison service to make room for some other prisoners. So they'll all be coming out soon and working, as I say, from your house, my house, everybody else's house, but not their own house, because obviously there's no point in burglaring their own house. But, what is going on? They're releasing people. What do they think they're going to do when they get out? The first thing they're going to do is probably go to some, signing on process, and then they're going to start making more burglaries. It's what they do. It's what they're used to doing. And by the time they've made it into prison, they've probably committed about 30 to 40 offences. So these are professional burglars who are being let out into the streets to burgle your house.
And actually, Mike, as the economy, swivels round in ever decreasing circles, more people are going to end up becoming criminals, because ends have to be made to meet somehow. And if costs are very high and you can't earn the money, you will turn to other means. So the government is creating a rod for its own back. It's terrible. I mean, I can't tell you how pessimistic I am for the medium to long-term future of the United Kingdom, unless we really immediately turn our attitudes around and our government policies around. We need a sea change in attitude if this country is to be saved.
But is it the case, do you think, that there will only be a sea change if, in fact, this government is gone? Because I don't see the government at the moment changing itself and it changing. I mean, you know, the net zero business is still very much high on their agenda. You know, as long as Jeremy Hunt is in the Chancellor's office, they're never going to bring taxes down. As long as Rishi Sunak is in the Prime Minister's chair, it's always going to be more about style over substance. You know, I think we just need to get them out.
Yeah, the whole point about a democracy is to eject those who fail. And failure must never be rewarded with incumbency. And no matter how much this government at the next election point the finger at Labour and say, you know, we know we're bad, but they're even worse, we have to boot this government out. Whatever the price, we have to boot this government out. They have to know, the Conservative Party has to know that it can't behave like this and expect to be returned to office. It would be a dereliction of every voter if they vote Conservative at the next election. This government has to go. 13 years of Conservative failed government must be responded to by a good kick in the arse at the next general election.
I couldn't have put it better myself. Well said. Ben Habib, thank you very much indeed. Chairman of BrexitWatch, former Brexit Party MEP, of course, a man who cares passionately about this country.